There's something about frantically mashing buttons to murder your way out of a sea of monsters that never quite gets old. And that's good, because it describes roughly 90% of what you do in Sacred 3. Where its predecessors are free-roaming Diablo-style action RPGs, Sacred 3 is a mostly linear, 4-player hack-and-slasher in the vein of Gauntlet. It's an approach that could easily turn dull, but Sacred 3 injects it with just enough challenge and variety to keep the action moderately entertaining. As one of 4 improbably powerful heroes, your job is to defeat the monstrous armies of an evil warlord. Again, most of this boils down to hammering a single attack button to slash at gremlins, zombies, and orc-like grimocs. It's satisfying enough, but you also have a couple of enjoyably devastating magical attacks at your disposal, and some enemies keep you on your toes by requiring you to break their shields or interrupt special attacks. Taking around 10 to 12 hours to play through, Sacred 3 unfolds across 38 stages. 15 of these are lengthy and story-driven, while the rest are pleasantly short side missions. Each stage is extremely linear, and while you can visit them in any order, jumping ahead usually means a quick death if you haven't hit the requisite experience level for a given stage. Conversely, a level 6 stage is easy to storm through if you're at level 7, and here's where problems with difficulty start. Early on, Sacred 3 is pretty tough, with unforgiving checkpoints and a nasty habit of surrounding powerful enemies with constant streams of low-level irritants. Simply fighting through the side missions in order, however, can make you just a little too powerful for the challenges ahead. And once you get the hang of your enemy's predictable, frequently telegraphed attacks, even the toughest boss fights suddenly become a breeze. As important as leveling up is, Sacred 3's RPG elements are kept disappointingly light, with new weapons, spells, and other abilities unlocked automatically as you gain power. The closest things to collectible loot, meanwhile, are the weapon spirits, ghostly companions that impart both benefits and penalties. But if you find one that works for you, it can be a big factor in making you an indomitable powerhouse. It'll also talk to you a lot.
How do you like my little slice of piss? Bliss.
Sacred 3's action is supported by a steady stream of in-game banter among the heroes, their spirits, their slightly awkward tactician, and smack-talking villains. It's all very goofy and anachronistic, and while some of the jokes can get tiresome, the absurdity of the chatter does a lot to buoy the overall experience.
The poison. Oh, it's everywhere. Don't step in the puddles, or I'm guessing you'll be sorry.
Like most co-op games, Sacred 3 is fine as a single-player game, but more fun with friends along. Even then, though, the constant chaos and minimal differences between characters make it feel more like you're splitting the work than actually working together in a complementary sense. Still, helpers can make certain tedious segments go more quickly, like whenever you're ordered to turn a crank or charge up an altar while enemies swarm you. Sadly, my experience on the PC version is that it's hard to get a decent connection online, and all of my attempts to play with a full set of 4 heroes were annoyingly choppy. It's a major disappointment for such a multiplayer-focused game. Sacred 3 is a beautifully detailed, enjoyably shallow experience that's better with friends. Sacred 2 fans hoping for a real action RPG likely won't be pleased, but as a simple, straightforward slash-em-up, this stands ably enough on its own.